Hey everyone, it's June 17th, about 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We got the 4-hour chart of Bitcoin, BTC, USD on the Bitfinex exchange. So basically, there's not too much to update from yesterday's analysis. So if you want to check something out that's a little more in depth, you can also check out yesterday's video. But basically, Bitcoin is just succumbing to the onslaught of selling pressure. So yes, we're kind of moving horizontally. But as we're trying to break these downtrend lines, price is just toppling over and it's not doing much. Volume's kind of spiking up, but just as much as it spikes up, it's coming right back down and leaving. So it's kind of like, the analogy I gave was that you went to go buy a product, and as soon as you handed the cash over, the individual did a 180 and just went as fast as they possibly could in the opposite direction. It would make you think that, hey, I more than likely just got scammed, and you would feel rather stupid for making the transaction. And that's kind of what I feel like Bitcoin's doing at this moment, is that every spike up, the volume's slightly picking up just a little bit, and then it's literally leaving just as fast as it came in. So I feel like what's more than likely happening is that we're having an artificial bottom created just to stabilize price for a bit, kind of like how we formed something right here before falling off a cliff yet once again. I do believe that without an intervention, and what I mean by an intervention is a gigantic green bar like we've seen multiple times in the price action. That's the most recent one. We had another attempt right here that failed miserably. But without that type of intervention, I definitely think that Bitcoin has a date under 6,000 to follow suit with Litecoin and Neo. We're just seeing a continuous onslaught of selling pressure. We see that there's arches here, that every run is getting smaller and smaller and more horizontal in nature, showing that less and less participants are willing to pay a higher price for Bitcoin. So as of now, anything above 7,800 is just pure fantasy. If Bitcoin cannot get above this zone, it's not going to go any higher. If we cannot break below about 6118 or so, I think on Bitfinex it is 6107. So if we cannot break below that zone, then we're obviously not going to head down to 6,000. We could just stay range bound within this area and then form another leg down shortly after. But if we do drop down below this low, then I definitely think we could slice through 6,000 fairly easy. I don't think it's going to take much effort at all. This area right here that had a lot of buying pressure, that got, we just sliced right through that like it was nothing. You could see that drop right into here and then boom, drop right through it. Came back to kind of stabilize in the region, but I do not think it's over yet. We can also see the selling pressure notated by the red lines pointing down. You can just see what is happening in this market here. The uptrend line that we did have that connected this bottom to that bottom and went up like so, that didn't even hold up either. So we cut right through that, barely even spent any time at that zone and just continued downward. And we've seen volume just significantly decrease from about, we were trading close to about 12 billion, and ever since then we're all the way down to 3 billion, showing less and less participants in the market. And that's not a good sign. And what I ultimately think is happening too is because we've seen this reoccurring manipulation of price, that less and less people want to participate in it. Like everyone's kind of done getting screwed by this fake rally that's ultimately just rolling over and collapsing even lower in most cases. Good, because by the time people are catching this, they're already up here, right? So yes, some people got in here, but a majority of the people that are going to come in the market are going to be up here. So prices, you're just riding this ride and it's continuously going down. You got people posting articles, doing videos. You got the mainstream media on it. You got public figures that have had immense success in life, like John McAfee with the McAfee, antivirus programs and so forth. But we got individuals like that, and everyone's kind of singing the same tune. Just hang on to it. Bitcoin's going to the moon. You're guaranteed to become rich. Sell everything you possibly own. Convince your family members to sell everything they own. Put it all into Bitcoin, because you too will also be a trillionaire in the year 2,450 trillion, you know, somewhere in the way, way, way distant future. So, and we're still seeing it. We're still seeing price get beat down, right? And every time it gets beat down, we get this sorry excuse like, oh, it's hacking, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, hacking produced perfectly predictable patterns. That's right? And the moves look literally identical with slight variations. That's exactly what hacking did. Yeah, we'll just blame it on the hacking. We'll make sure we wave the left hand so people don't understand they're getting screwed by the right hand. But you know, I don't want to go like and diverge off into that. I mean, everybody sees it. I don't need to be, you know, harping that tune. But if we cannot hold this range and we cannot base out here, then we are going to continue to slide downward. Slowly but surely, we will slice through 6,000 and I believe find the natural bottom that we should have found before this clear intervention here, and then yet another intervention here. So these interventions may be stopping or just being minimized due to the investigation that's happening in some of these major exchanges based on the clear manipulation in price activity, right? So everybody knew that. It's like, you know, with every government entity, it's always like they're always like, you know, 20 steps behind. Like you wonder what they're doing. They're just like spinning in a circle chasing their tail, and you're like, man, where have you been the whole time, you know? So, and I highly doubt anything's going to come from it, right? Like I've said multiple times, I highly doubt anything's going to come from it. Like, please show me any time like some big individual has really gone down. The last big person was Madoff, and that was only because there was so much evidence against him. There was no way he was going to weasel himself out of that. So other than that, I mean, white-collar criminal activity happens on a daily basis. They're called bankers. But anyway, so that's what we see happening in Bitcoin. The volume's just dwindling, and it's just nothing's really looking good. And basically, I feel like we're all shackled to this hopium for this big green candle. And without that big green candle, this market's going absolutely nowhere. And you can visually see that on the chart. So that's pretty much it for tonight's analysis. It's not anything that's revolutionary, you know, or really revealing of future price activity. We just got to kind of wait and see at the moment. Sometimes patience is key. It can be your best tool in investing and really anything in life. But that's kind of what we see here, is just maybe a potential bottom, or at least just to kind of stop before we yet jump off the cliff once again. And that could also lead to the reasoning behind the slow pump, or the pumps to the upside in volume and price, and then that volume is coming out just as fast as it came back in, showing that we're just kind of creating this artificial bottom to kind of stabilize price. And once whoever's doing that, or individuals are doing that, once they're done playing the artificial bottom game, it's just going to collapse right out like a bowling ball going through a wet paper napkin. So I hope everybody, you know, at least gathered something from it. Like I said, last night's video is a little more in depth. It's literally kind of harping the same tune. Not much has changed over the past couple of days, but it is what it is, you know, and some days you get it like this, and a lot of people feel like they have to trade, but that's the worst feeling you could possibly have, is that you have to trade. If you do have that feeling, you really need to check yourself before you wreck yourself, because if you do act on those on the notion that you have to trade, you are going to make mistakes. You are going to force things that should not be forced, instead of just practicing patience in a market that is literally hanging on the edge. And the only thing for longs at this point is hopium, and that's literally it. Hopium, hopium, hopium. And we got mainstream media. I just saw some stupid article from one of the mainstream news organizations, and it's just ridiculous the crap they're posting nowadays. It's just insane. That's what it is. It's literally insanity, like on what's being posted out there. But anyways, I'll talk to everybody tomorrow night. You know, sorry for such kind of a doom and gloom, but there's really not anything exciting here for really either direction, because if we don't break below 6,100, Like I said, we're not going anywhere. And if we don't break above 7,800, we could literally sit sideways for quite a long time and form more of a basing pattern, which is not necessarily a bad thing. I would take that as a positive thing. But, other than that, there's just not much else to talk about. So I'll talk to everybody tomorrow. Hope everybody has a great day, great night, great weekend, depending on where you are in the world. And I do thank you for your time. I thank you for your support. If you've not joined the free Slack channel, I do have a free Slack channel that's cryptocurrency oriented. And you can visit my site, geometriccharts.com. At the bottom, I do have a link with my social media accounts as well as a Slack channel. Click that. You'll go right into the channel. There's like about 350 members. Everyone's extremely friendly. Not everyone's all active at once, but it's just a nice, diverse community that is extremely friendly and helpful. And I can't speak highly enough about it. That's why I talk about it on every video. It doesn't benefit me in any way, shape, or form. It's just a nice way for people to come together and converse with each other. I'm not in there trying to sell anything or do any crazy crap like that. It's just a nice community that has literally come together from all over the globe, and it's primarily focused on cryptocurrency. So if you're looking for a community to join, I would highly recommend it. Like I said, it's free. It's always going to be free. There's no one selling you anything. If somebody does sell you something, definitely let me know, and I will delete them from that community very fast. So everybody have a great day, great night.